Yes, there are loads of reasons why you might not want to garden in your rented garden, but I'm going to talk you through why you should, debunk all of the excuses that you're giving me, show you how to make it benefit you, and how to make use of small spaces. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Dawn, and if you're new here, I'm a doctor working in the southwest of England. Today we're talking about how to garden in a small and rented garden. So I've had a few people say to me, what's the point in gardening in a rented garden? And I have loads of reasons, but I'm going to talk about quickly the reasons why you wouldn't, because I can understand why you wouldn't. You might think, well, it's not my garden, so what's the point? It costs money. You're just going to leave in a few maybe months or years. You probably don't think you've also got enough time for gardening on top of all the other things you're doing. Or you think maybe my garden's too small. Well, I thought all of these things too, and I know lots of other people who have thought them too. They are all valid points, but I'm going to debunk all of them in this video so you can get out there and get your fingers green. So I want to quickly talk about how I got into gardening. I guess I was gardening at a young age, like my grandparents always gardened, like from a kid. And I made my own little veg patch when I was probably like 14, 15, grew some stuff there, that was all good. But then I've been in student houses, and most student houses don't really have somewhere nice to garden. You're concentrating on other things, i.e. studying, and you're like, why would I want to put the time into a garden that I'm literally going to leave in a year? If you're a little bit older, which I am now I would not have done this at 21 probably, but if you're a little bit older, I'm now 26, then gardening just becomes your thing. Like, that's what getting old does to you, I think. So basically over lockdown, I moved into this house, which is rented. It's 2 bedrooms. I'm in the spare bedroom now, and it's got a small garden. I'd say probably like 5 to 7 meters by 3 or 4 meters. It's probably wider than I think. I'm really bad at judging distances. Anyway, it's not that big, but I also have a front garden. So over lockdown, I was just thinking, like, what can I do with my time? I was also getting a little bit crazy because who wasn't? And I think I'd watched I started my sustainability journey. I found out that basically loads of things we can do in the garden are so beneficial for the environment, and it basically starts in your home. Stop getting other people to do it, you can do it right here. And you don't need to go big scale like I kind of have done. So basically, I started all my gardening stuff, like got all the pots, etc. And then I thought, what can I do in lockdown? So I joined this square meter gardening, which is like a new concept. And it's basically where you have a meter squared, and like, how can you garden in that space? So there's no excuse for gardening because you can do it in literally like a square meter. And you probably have a square meter. So I have more than a square meter, but I thought I'm gonna go on this course because I get to go out the house, I get to go and see people, and I do really like gardening, and it would just be, I don't know, I just thought it would be really fun. It was like 40 quid, so I was like, for 3 sessions over 3 months. However, lockdown came, and with that meant that we couldn't meet outside, but we did 2 sessions online. Then we did a session in person. I'll try and put some pictures on here. And then we did a follow-up session as well. Anyway, I learned loads of stuff from that, and I'm gonna kind of mix it into this one here, this video. My kind of philosophy with gardening is that I want to work with nature, I want to give back to nature, i.e. like pollinators, the bees and butterflies and whatever. Provide like a biodiverse, somewhat, environment for things to grow, and just be able to like go outside and just pick stuff. But one benefit that I didn't expect was how much it saved me over the lockdown. I was literally going stir crazy inside, and yes, I was going out to work and coming back, but no, it was just, it was awful. I mean, all of you can empathise. So I had my garden and I just literally got absorbed for hours, and it was just still is such a mindful activity for me, just to like go out, sort my garden out. And it's literally like Atul Gawande was saying in his book Being Mortal that there was an experiment where a nursing home put plants, animals and children, like loads of living things, into a nursing home, and literally like the nursing home residents, which were just like, well, don't want to do anything, like all depressed, they just came to life, because life brings life. So life, even in the garden, it just like, I just love watching it grow. It's just so satisfying, and knowing you've put that work into it, it's great, honestly. So I think mental health and mindfulness benefits are just like, they're really up there, as well as a few other things. So I guess there's going to be a few things that you're going to be worried about. I think cost is probably a big thing for people renting and gardening in a rented place. And I've actually I've made a little cheat sheet on how to save money or gardening on a budget. So link in the description below, download it, and you will receive that for free, just for an exchange of your email. Thank you. I think there are a few things which you'll need to get, like you have to start gardening, which are relatively inexpensive. And you can often get some of it like second hand. Compost is not expensive, £5 a bag. Seeds and plants, in my cheat sheet, I literally talk about how you can make that cheaper. You don't have to go out and buy literally loads of plants, because it just kind of defeats the object of gardening, I think. Fertilizers, water, plant pots, however you can plant them in the ground, compost, and seeds/plants. Those are like the 5 or 6 things you really need. And then I think there are some really good optional extras. So depending on the size of your garden, something to water with, either a hose or I have a hose because I just have so much to water, or a watering can is a definite must. Unless you have a tiny, like a little patio garden, in which case you can just use like a bottle, like a 2-litre bottle. What's that, like a couple of quid? £1, £1 even. It's super cheap. A water butt, which I have installed in my garden. A compost bin, which I have also installed in my garden. I just literally put it on the floor. And a greenhouse. Now you don't need those things, I don't think, but I just think they're really useful. So cost, not an issue, because you can basically do it for free. Like if you have a look at that budget, gardening on a budget, you will be able to do it so cheap, if not for free. People are always worried about, well, the garden's not mine, why would I put effort into it? Yes, that's a good point. But the way I do it, and it's like super cheeky, but, well, it's not really cheeky at all. The way I do it is I plan everything, and you'll be able to see it in the videos. I plan everything in pots. All of them are coming with me when I leave. Like when I get my own house or whatever, I'm not leaving any of it here. You don't need to worry about the garden not being yours, because you can take the garden with you. You can also take the compost bin with you. I'm planning on doing that. I was even considering the water butt, but I'm not sure yet, because it is connected to the drain. I'm going to take the greenhouse with me, I'm going to take the pots with me, I'm going to take the plants with me, literally like everything. So that garden is being cleared out. I think though that you don't need to put as much time into it as I do. Like you can grow 2 or 3 things on your windowsill, or literally like in a pot, and low maintenance things, and you don't need to spend that much time. But if you get things that you want, and you'll go out and pick and you'll eat, or things that look nice or smell nice, you don't have to have things that you eat, then that's still some kind of gardening, and you're still getting some kind of benefit from it, and so is the environment. So you don't need to literally go crazy and have everything in the garden like I do, because you can just spend like impossible amounts of time. I could spend all day every day out there. I definitely could. There are a few extra benefits which I wanted to include in here, and I have talked a bit about the only thing is environmental. Have a look at my recent video on Extinction Rebellion and being a sustainable doctor. Guys, I am currently planting for the bees, because we need bees, like we do. If you actually think about it, bees pollinate everything. And unless we're gonna like employ people to go around and poke all the plants and pollinate all of them, then if we don't have bees or pollinators, butterflies are also pollinators, I believe, then how are our crops gonna get pollinated? Which means, like, how are they gonna reproduce, essentially? I just want to put in here, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, then please do, because it really helps my channel, and leave a comment as well, because I love to hear from you guys. What do you want to see? Are you enjoying the content? What are you not enjoying? Hopefully none of it. Okay, so we move on to the final section. How to make use of a small garden. Now, like I said before, my garden's only, I don't know, I said 5 to 7 meters by 3 or 4 meters. So it's not very big. One of my main tips is just to grow vertically. So basically two of my 4 walls, because the other 2 don't really face the sun, 2 of my 4 walls are literally covered in vertical things. Because I don't have that much ground space. I've got my strawberries, which love hanging baskets and things. I've got my strawberries in my milk cartons, which are hanging. So I think what's important is to grow things that you eat and grow things that are expensive, but also don't take up that much room. So, for example, Mange 2, I'm growing in the garden, but you can buy like a pack of it, like literally like this big, for like 2 or 3 quid. Why does it cost that much? It's literally so easy to grow, and it grows vertically, so grow that one. I also grow almost everything in pots, mainly so that I can move it around, because often I'll plant things and I won't think about how much light it needs or how much light it gets, and then if it's struggling, you just move it and put it into somewhere brighter or put it in somewhere shadier, which I've done quite recently. Also means that as your needs change in your smaller garden, then your garden can also change too. You don't have things getting in the way. You can also use hanging pots. Personally, I have a greenhouse, and I think it's really useful because you get so much more yield from the things that you put in there, because it's so warm in there. The plants love it, and they will thrive better. So if you have a small garden and you can fit a greenhouse, I do think it is a good idea, because you can put most things in there, except some things won't like it that hot probably. Tomatoes love it, or peppers as well, chilies, and the bell peppers. I just think that from one plant you'll end up getting so much more, which will therefore save you space, rather than having loads of plants which produce half the amount of crop because they're in a cooler space. I've also filled loads of the dead space that I have with just pots. Like, I don't use all of the grass, I don't use all of the patio, I don't use the front garden that much. I'm pointing that way, it's actually that way. So I've just filled it all with pots and lined all the walls and all of the walkways, and just use all of the extra space that you have. Now, I think people are going to be like, well, I don't have a garden. It doesn't matter, because actually all of these points still apply. If you have a balcony, literally a front door, or a windowsill, you can do all of those things, because you can grow vertically, you can hang stuff out the window or in the window, or sit it on the windowsill, or literally just put a pot like outside your front door, or by the window. And plants love it inside, so it doesn't have to be grown outside. If you want to grow tomatoes inside, of course you can do that. I hope this video has been useful for you guys and gets you out in the garden, because honestly, it's so much fun and so satisfying, and it really has been the thing that saved me over this awful time. So if you like this video, please give it a like, and please subscribe to my channel. If you've got any other suggestions about what you want to hear, then please leave it in the comments down below, or I'm always happy to be contacted via my email, which I leave in the description below. Don't forget to download that Gardening on a Budget cheat sheet, and I will see you in the next vlog. Thanks for watching.